Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of things have happened. We had Deku. We also had, well, Kara. Now, Deku and Kara were helping Alexander Luthor. Alexander Luthor, he wants to recreate the multiverse. He's had experiments. He has found many things. The universe was coming to an end. Whenever all five Earths actually merge, they will destroy each other. Reality, in the best way of saying it, is fucked. Because they stopped the ending and prevented the beginning. So what they're going to try and do is start a beginning near the ending. So, hopefully this chain reaction and enough energy will recreate the multiverse. Keep things safe and okay. Now, that is the hope. Deku, Kara, and Earth 2 Superman, they were trying to figure all this out. And Earth 2 Clark, he was a bit more worried. His world is peaceful, more peaceful than the others. But this place has incredible amounts of violence. The stuff he deals with is comical. Here it's actual gritty, bloody violence. It's real. And he doesn't like it. I mean, he always swoops in to save the day. It always turns out well for everybody. There never really felt like there was lasting consequence, but here there is. And that was made quite apparent. Now, Deku, he went to go see Batman about this. He wanted to try and talk down the Earth's heroes. And Batman, yeah, he's not too sure what Duville is talking about, but he needed to stop him. He needs to make sure that whatever they're trying to do, it doesn't happen. And Deku, yeah. Unfortunately for Batman, he was immune to the kryptonite Bruce tried to use, and Bruce was left there horrified. Now, with that all being said, Superboy Prime has made a return as well. And while that's happening, we do actually cut over to Deku. Deku, he does sit outside of a door, and he's trying to think about what to say. He's not sure what to say, and he does get a knock on it. Him waiting for an answer. And there actually is where someone, they do come walking over and opening it up. And the moment the person is going to lay eyes on Deku, they do stare at him a bit more confused. They don't know who this guy is. And Deku does get to answer. Hi, she must be Celine? Who are you? I know your mom. Duville? We're going to close the door. And Deku does going to throw out his hand to stop it with his fingers. And there is where Celine does going to smash the door on Deku's arm. And nothing happened. Her a bit more surprised. As she's going to step backwards, and Deku does going to step forwards. Listen, I want to talk. You're not supposed to be here. I know. Celine, a lot has happened. Trust me. Sure it has. What could you possibly want to talk to me about? Last time I saw you, we were kids. I know. I need to talk to your mom. Why? Because it's important. Now, Celine, you are the closest thing I ever had to an Earth sister here. But that's not the case. Not in my universe, anyway. Your universe? What are you even talking about? Okay, this is going to be a lot to explain. Deku starting to tell her the story. And Celine, yeah. Whenever Deku starts to use his powers a bit more to show her what he's talking about, she's definitely caught off guard by it. I mean, okay, yeah, that definitely is something. Now, Deku does try to talk to her about it. It definitely is. Because on his Earth, she died. And another one of Waller's children was alive. So there was definitely a change in the timeline. And Celine, she's caught off guard. I mean, the idea that it just doesn't how is she supposed to? Huh? That being her response. And Deku, he sort of expected it. Him at least trying to talk to her a bit about a few things. And afterwards, he does go to leave. And we do actually cut over to him at Argus, where Amanda Waller, she's been doing quite a bit. And she does get to step into her office and sit down. As Deku, he does get to make himself visible. And Waller does go to look up, staring directly at Duville. Her gonna look back down at her paperwork and express to him, whatever he does need, she is not here to give him anything. Whatever it is, it clearly isn't important enough. Then again, why is he here? Usually, he wouldn't come here unless it's very important. So, is he here checking in, talking to her, talking to dear old mom? Or is he finally here because he needs something? Endgame Protocol 738 Beta Alpha. Fuck. Yep. I'm confused then. You should be. How am I alive? Hard to explain. We have all the time in the world, correct? Yes and no. This world, we have the time in. The next one, not so sure. Start talking. Now, they're going to sit Amanda Waller down and express. Endgame was enacted, and the universe ended. So, not much to say. And Waller's confused about how she's still even here. But Deku, he explains that with the Monitor, and the Anti-Monitor, and their battle, and what he's about to do. And Waller, yeah, okay, it's definitely something. However, she's also curious. Surveillance pointed a few months back, Deku turned to her, that a few people they've gone into hiding. A few people specifically they've disappeared. And I have had people try and find them, figure a few things out. As far as I am aware, Duville, a few things are going on, and I'd like to understand what's going on. Hard to explain, but here we go. I was distracted, and I got 6 chicks pregnant. How long? Almost 7 months now. That is bad. Red kryptonite was to blame. I assumed it was kryptonite. That or Amazonian charm. Technically, only 2 of them are Amazonian. Diana Prince is one of them, isn't she? Mm-hmm. And I assume the next is my ex. You're married, aren't you? Yeah. Well, that's definitely something. So, you said it was red kryptonite, correct? Mm-hmm. I'm curious. Effects? A lot. Power-hungry dictator. That's the gist of it. Along with that, I've done a lot more. I'm sure you have. So, was that all your visit was pertaining to? Telling me about how you have been around? No. I need a bit of guidance. I'm not sure. I'm different now. Now, let's cut over to somewhere else. Where Superboy, he came out of the Speed Force. And he was trying to figure a few things out. He was gone for a long time. He's mad. And he wants to destroy the Earth's heroes. If that can happen, then his world can be brought back. His world can change. His world, this being where he is teleported away. And Alexander, he does go to bring his hand out as Superboy Prime. He does go to sit in front of Luthor. Him looking around and then staring at his ally. "Hmm? What's going on? Did it work? No, it didn't. We however have allies. Who? Kara Zor-El of Earth 1 and Duvil Zod of Earth 1. Duvil is tricky. I know. He's also changed. The power he possesses is quite tremendous. In fact, you two share similarities. How so? Cultivating power. Your suit. It's new. I know. I'd rather not talk about how long I was in there. Fair enough. Listen. There's a plan forming and you need to listen to every single bit of it. Do you understand? If you want your home to be brought back, then I suggest you advise and listen. Alright. What are we going to do? You are going to devour a star. Bring me back its energy. Then go out to do it again. When enough energy is built up, I will give the word. I almost have enough to recreate Earth 2. Once that is done, then we can do quite a lot. You're going to try and separate it? Pull it away, yes. This may help start the chain reaction. When enough positive matter exists in the multiversal scale, what I believe will happen is it'll begin to replicate. It'll turn into an infinite. Yes, it will. 1 will go to 2, 2 will go to 4, so on and so forth. That is what I believe. If Earth 2 cannot be recreated with the full power, then we'll try to recreate another Earth. Something will happen. Definitely. Now, Prime does understand. And Prime, he's still annoyed. But home. His parents. The ones he left on Earth. He misses them. He misses so much about his own home. Him flying out of the ship. And we do get back over to Deku. Deku, he has to go around. He's talking to people and trying to solve this small little crisis. He had to take Bruce out of the variable. Bruce didn't seem to understand. Bruce thinks he's talking crazy. But he's not. Bruce doesn't remember. Not a lot of people remember. And so far, he needs to talk to a lot of people. Him calling the Justice League to order on a vote. And right now, a lot of people sit there. You have Superman. You have Wonder Woman. You have Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, and the rest. And Deku, yeah. He stares at the Earth's heroes. The only 2 people missing from this table are Shazam and Bruce. Bruce is incapacitated. And Shazam? He's still recovering from falling out of the sky. He's alive, but he's definitely injured. That being on Deku's mind. And right now, Deku tries to tell the Earth's heroes about what is going on. But a few people are distracted. Because there's Hal Jordan. Last time he remembers, Diana wasn't pregnant. And then there's actually the fact that... Oh wait, I forgot. No, not Wally West. Barry Allen isn't here either, so there's 3 people missing, so it's not as suspicious that Batman's missing. Then again, he works alone, he's a detective, he's moody and broody. So they just thought he didn't accept the invitation. Anyways, now then, with all that out of the way, they just believe that Batman might be able to handle it, or Batman may believe that they may be able to handle it. I got that so mixed up. Anyways, now, with all that out of the way, a lot's happening, and Deku tried to tell the Earth's heroes about it. But there's actually, well, Hal. Hal is still kind of on the other thing. I mean, Clark is not the father, right? I mean, oh fuck, is it Bruce? He knows that him and Diana, they had a thing once, and is Bruce dodging his ex? That on Hal's mind. And Deku doesn't snap him to focus. What? Right. So, can you start over again? Hal Jordan, I'm going to tell you this once. And if you do not listen, I'm going to put that ring where the sun doesn't shine. Alrighty then. I'm all ears. Good. Now listen. It's a lot to explain. Alexander Luthor, he believes that we can recreate the multiverse. And what we're doing currently, it's definitely something. We're gathering the energy. But even then, I'm not too sure if it'll work. Yeah. I'm not too sure it will. What is he doing? He's trying to cause a chain reaction. Separate the other Earths from our own. When that happens, the other heroes will go away. They'll disappear, they'll vanish. And things should be okay. Duville, Clark going to say it. About how that would affect Kara as well. And Deku doesn't want to sit there frozen. Him is going to tell Clark. Actually, it won't. How do you know? I'm keeping her in Nazareth. Me, her, and the others. And, me and Diana came from there. Now, Hal Jordan has his brain completely freeze over that statement. He brought Diana from there, and the rest? Wait a second. So, the baby is half Amazonian, half Kryptonian, or no, not human, so it's not Bruce, and holy shit. That being on Hal's mind. He sits there with a wide-eyed expression, and he does stare at Duville. And Deku does get a turn to look at Hal Jordan. Before he just tell Hal, he can hear his thoughts. Yes, it's his kid. Shut up. And Hal just sit there a bit more surprised. And Cyborg? Yeah. Okay. Congrats. Now, Deku, he does at least try to tell everybody about what's going on. And all of them, they somewhat understand. Clark is willing to help, but he's also worried about what might happen to this Earth. Alexander, he wants to talk to. See about? I mean, he's not willing to risk leaving this Earth. I mean, if this Earth is separated from... If their Earth is separated from this one, will John and Lois reset again or disappear? I mean, he's worried about that. And Deku, he does at least tell Clark a few things. And Clark does try to listen. However, he's also a bit more concerned and worried. But Deku, whenever he does try and talk to Clark, he does get to sense it. And he does get to turn his head. Duville? Yeah, sorry. I thought I heard something. I didn't hear anything. You didn't? Deku looking back towards Clark. And Clark does see the confusion on Duville's face. He heard something that Clark didn't. But that's not possible. Clark looking in that direction. And Deku does try to tell him. He doesn't know what that is. Has it been happening a lot? Yeah. I sense something. And I don't know. It's sort of out there. Deku bring up his hand and expressing. Whatever it is, it's calling to him, sensing him. He doesn't know, but it's somewhere in that direction, or no, wait, it's over there. No. Deku's pointing two different directions. And it does kind of confuse the Justice League. So he's being called out to by two different forces out in space? That's concerning. And with that, Deku, he does at least get everybody on the same page. They hear about it, and some are sort of skeptical. But others, they're concerned. And there is where Deku is going to teleport Clark over to the ship. And Superboy Prime, he is there. And Clark is alarmed. However, Alexander does try to talk down Clark, trying to express about how he's not here for any harm. And that is where Clark, he does somewhat get a turn back to Duville, and Deku just stares at Superboy Prime a bit more surprised, and Prime just stares back at Deku. The two haven't finished their fight. And Prime, he definitely wants to kill Duville. Now, with all that being said, the Supermen, they need to work together. They need to figure a few things out. However, right now we do actually cut back over to Azarath, where a lot's been going on. There actually is Kara. Kara sits there, and she's thinking about what to say, thinking about what to do. She's happy, and she's not used to it. I mean, the Clarks are working together, and so is Duville. But she wants to stay here. She wants to stay with Duville and Clark, but will it actually happen? I mean, Duville can come to visit and jump from universe to universe. So, would it work? She's just worried. If all of this goes according to plan, then Duville will be able to come and go from Earth 2. But if that's not the case, then a lot of bad things can happen, and she'll be stuck on an Earth all by herself, alone, to raise a baby. I mean, being a superhero, that has its own difficulties, but on their Earth, it's easy. I mean, yes, it would be more like a part-time job, kinda, but okay. Here on these more violent Earths, it's an actual job, an actual responsibility. There's challenges to face. I mean, yes, she'd face some crazy stuff, but on these other Earths, people actually have intent to kill, murderous auras around them, and that says quite a bit. But then again, I mean, Duville would be able to come to their Earth just by vibrating at a certain frequency, right? That's the only thing that separates them. It's vibrations, not distance. So, okay. She's overthinking this. It'll all work itself out. Okay. She just has to kind of remain calm. Now, as Card is going to think that, there's where somebody they come to walk up. And they try and talk to Kara, because they're kind of concerned. And Kara looks up to see Voss, her kind of surprised, as Voss comes walking up and tries to sit down, her trying to express about what is going on. And Deku, he actually is going to somewhat smile, watching Kara somewhat begin to fade from that stress. Her thoughts were cloudy. He didn't like that. Deku turning and walking away. Okay, there's still much he has to learn about his powers. Okay, so he needs to read some of the books. Deku going to actually float up into the air and fly himself to a library. Now, Deku, he does gotta take a few books off the shelf, bringing up his hand and using his telekinesis. Now, Deku, he does feel his eyes glow red, and he does at least try and keep this demonic power under wraps. He tries to keep it from showing its dark side, showing its ugly face. And Deku, he does at least try to remember about what happened all that time back in that other dimension. Him actually going to somewhat float there and fold his legs, as a book is in front of him. And Deku, he does start to read the strange language. And there is actually where he does try and get this done fast. Deku flipping through the book at record speed, as he examines every single piece of it. And then he at least does try to turn and look for other books. These books are in a very strange language, magical in origin, and that does say quite a bit. And Deku, he does start to go through a few of them. He starts to recognize a few patterns, and then he starts to recognize a few other things. And this gibberish, it quickly starts to make itself understandable. Now, Deku is kind of surprised by that. And there is actually Raven. Raven, she walked into the room, and she saw Deku flipping through a book at super speed. And there was the fact that he went from front to back, and then from back to front. Started in the middle, worked his way backwards, and then worked his way from the middle to the back of the book. And she was actually kind of intrigued. Her bringing her own hand up and beginning to cast a spell. Now, Deku, he actually wanted to look up and turn. Him seeing Raven, and Raven did try to ask if he feels better now. It's all in English. Exactly. Thanks. So, how have you been doing? I've been doing fine. Deku looking back at the book. That's good. How about you? I'm trying to stop the multiverse from collapsing. It's kind of a lot of pressure, Raven. Deku flipping through the book again. It does say quite a bit, though. There's so much to learn. Deku setting the book down, and then going to turn to the other one. Him picking it up and expressing to Raven. It'll take him some time, but he'll figure this all out. Superboy right now, though, and Clark, they're all doing a few things. They're doing some heavy lifting. Meanwhile, he's looking for the magical way out. That is very interesting. Then again, if you can't find magic, why not rely on a few other people? People. Sorry, people's the wrong word. I meant the beings people worship. You want me to go to the gods? Of course. It will be kind of intriguing. Then again, if it does all pan out well, we won't need their help. They won't have as much vested interest in this as we do. You say that. But if the gods find out Earth is going to be destroyed, they may step in. They have a vested interest. If they don't step in, they die. Or they think that they'll probably just go to another planet. It does sound like something that they would do. So how are you sure they won't help us? Because they'll think that they'll either remain unaffected by it, or they've already gathered their power to defend Olympus. That does sound intriguing. So you're saying that Olympus might be a safe haven? It's quite possible, but it's also quite not. Any defenses they have for a collapse of the multiverse, it would just leave Olympus. No one to worship them. And if I'm correct, they would need people to worship them to exist. Their names are still known in history, so that might be why we cemented them as immortal. So you believe that they may just remain in the human noosphere? Exactly. They would save people, but those people would need to know them. That's so confusing. I know. Worst part is, I might have to go make a house call to Zeus. Raven remaining quiet. She's never heard those words strung together that way. Now, Deku, he actually does going to float upwards. Him going to close the book he was reading and have it come floating up into the air. As Deku does to catch it, expressing to Raven. He's going to do some more light reading. He's going to do some more theorizing, and he's also going to try and figure this out. Him going to walk towards her as she's in the doorway. And Raven, she actually does hear about it whenever Deku is going to pass by her. Him bringing his hand out and wrapping her into a hug with one arm, the book in his other hand. He goes to tell Raven. He'll figure this all out. For all of them. He'll do what he needs to. He'll find out what this nagging sensation in his head is. Duvel, are you okay? I'm fine. I'm just tired is all. Are you sure? Yeah. running around a lot today, thinking very fast and opening portals. Ugh. It sort of took a lot out of me today. I need rest. Okay. Um, your bedroom should be. I know, Raven. I'll be fine. Just gotta get some rest. Sorry. Sorry. I really am getting tired. You're fine, Duval. You're probably just drained from Luther's experiments. Right. Night, Raven. They're gonna turn and fly away. And Raven, she is a bit more concerned. I mean, taking on the power of a star and then letting go of it, that's gotta be tiring him out. So, what about the other Supermen, though? And Deku, he currently does sit in his bed, him with the book open and flipping through pages. He's taking his time. He's trying to make sure he can burn these pages into his memory. And there is where Deku's eyes, they start to glow red again. And Deku, he does at least turn his powers off. Him going to blink as he's going to stare back at the book. Definitely getting used to. Okay. So he's got those eye beams under control, so that's good. That is definitely an interesting page. But what's this about? Deku, he does still stare at the drawing. It's definitely an interesting symbol. I mean, the way it looks laid out. It's... a mysterious metal. Okay, so that's a thing. Deku going to yawn. And there is whenever he does going to close the book. Him going to lay it down onto his left, as he does actually go to lay down. Him getting comfy. And Deku, he does going to fall asleep. Him having a dream. He can hear it calling again. He hears it trying to reach out for him. And Deku, he does try and reach back. What is it? What is it saying? And then there's the voices. He hears tons of them. Who? No, what? Where? When? When? What? Deku opening his eyes and going to somewhat jump awake. Him a bit more alarmed. That didn't feel like a dream. That sensation. He was out in space. No, the atmosphere. Deku bring his hand up. And whenever he does go to throw the blanket out from over himself, he does go to look outside. Him running out as he does go look around. Azrath is still Azrath, but something's wrong. Something's calling to him. And Deku is going to bring his hand up. And there is where he does try to at least reach out to it. He wants to hear it. He wants to know that it's real. He wants to know what it wants. And Deku, he does get one simple answer. Him. Now, Deku does going to walk back inside. And he actually does going to stare at his bed. He's fairly certain he went to bed alone last night. But if that's the case, then why is Zatanna lying in his bed? Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.